What is going on YouTube? This is welcome to another edition of Home Work to Home Vibes. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. It's been an interesting couple of months for me, both physically and emotionally. Not going to get into all of that. But welcome to my channel. If you are new, I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelton Pounder II. If you are, first of all, like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video out. If you are, sorry about that, my brakes are doing something weird to me. Anyway, if you are new, I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelton Pounder II, and welcome to my channel. If you are new or just returning, do like, comment, and share this video out. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, follow me at TonyGumble21. Yes, that is Tony, I'm sorry, GUMBEL21. Once again, I'm sorry for the loud rattling. There is something wrong with my brakes are fresh. I'm going to need to have them adjusted. Once again, I do thank you for viewing my channel. It is 101 degrees outside in Kansas. Yes, that is where I am right now. I am in Kansas and I am headed home. I had to take care of some business. The topic of today is going to be, why do we take life for granted? Why do we take life for granted? Ever why do we never take advantage of life? Why do we always take life for granted? Interesting question, is it not? I think so. And it came up, the topic popped into my head one morning. I was on my way to work and I was thinking. Now, I'm not going to get political in here, so don't think that I am. Not so, I'm sorry. Don't think that I'm going to get political in here, because I'm not. That's just not what I'm going to do. But people take life, we as a culture, we as a people, we take life for granted so much. We don't think about, what's going to happen next week, next month, next year. We don't think about that. And the roaring that you're hearing in the background, that is the AC. Yes, it is 100 degrees outside. I am not kidding. In fact, if you want to know, it is that hot outside. It's 101 degrees outside. There is a heat advisory in effect until the weekend. But as I said, why do we as humans take life for granted? That's a question that I've asked myself many, many times, and I come up with the same, or I come up with a different answer every time. Maybe it's because we want to accomplish that one thing before it's our time. But here's the issue: we don't know when our time is going to come. We can say, oh, yes, I want to take care of this, and this before my time is up. But when we finally get there, our time has come and we pass on. I've done some thinking about it. I know I'm not going to get a lot of people who agree with me, but the reason why we take life for granted is because we think that we're going to live to see tomorrow. In all actuality, That's not true. We don't know if we're going to see tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to see Saturday. Or we don't know if we're going to see next month. We don't know if we're going to see next week, next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We don't know if we are going to see those times. But why do we take life for granted? Because we're entitled to something? Who knows? Who knows why we take life for granted? I, I can probably think of a couple of reasons why we take life for granted because of the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper. He took a pill and he was able to do whatever he wanted to do. Now, the movie didn't really pan out the way he wanted it to, but that's because he took life for granted. Every situation is different, people, and I hope that we all can learn from it. Some people might say, "Oh, why not live in the now?" There's a you cannot live in the past. We just can't keep we I as a person can't keep living in the past. And that's what I do sometimes. I live in the past. I think about where I would have been had I written down the goals that I wanted to do in life. And yes, I'm still young. Yeah, I'm still young. Yeah, I'm able to say, "Hey, you know what? This is how." Sorry for the shaky camera, people. As I said, my brakes need to be adjusted, and that's what I'm going to get done tomorrow. If you're watching this on the replay and you see a whole lot of shakes, that's the car going through, going on the highway and stuff. But we take life for granted because, as I said, we think that we are going to be able to see tomorrow, and that is not the case. There are many people who went to sleep last night that did not wake up this morning. I'm not trying to turn this into a whole church thing. But I just wish that we as humans, doesn't matter what nationality you are, what culture you are, whatever what have you, I wish that we would look at life and say, wow. I wish that we could look at life and say, wow, life is actually pretty dang decent. Because I see people on the street sometimes, and if I have a little bit of money, I'll give them $1 or I'll give them $5. It makes me feel good when I give people, someone that doesn't have as much as I do, money. Now, I don't give it to everybody because, it's hard to trust anybody nowadays. But like I said, why do we take life for granted? We as human beings take life for granted because we feel like we're obligated to something. We feel like we feel like we're entitled to something. Our parents, you know, I've seen it in movies and I've seen it in real life. Parents will write up a will for their children, and that will describes what everybody in that family will get. If you are a child and if you're a parent and you have children, you have to decide who's going to get what. Celebrities. Let me back up from that real quick. All individuals take life for granted. You have your daredevils. You have You know, you have your stunt men, you have your stunt women, you have, uh, you have these people who win the lottery and get, and this is not for anybody in particular. This is just in general. To me, taking life for granted means that you don't care about life. You know what your parents always told you, don't do it again. If you don't want to know the outcome, if you don't want the same thing to happen to you. There are people that do that. There are people that take risk, and I'm not talking about the risk that will have pros and cons to them, like in business. I'm talking about risks of life. People that are living on planet Earth right now, like me, my family, my friends. I don't know. I have taken life for granted, and it almost cost me. I'm not going to get into all that because that's personal. But I did something that I wasn't supposed to, and people kept telling me, "Well, you better watch out because if you're not careful, then it could be over like that." We as humans are so prideful that we won't take we won't take advice from people who have been through it before until it happens to us. And then when we get to that issue, that person that we were supposed to listen to, that was supposed to give us that advice, is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I give you a perfectly good example. Those people who gamble. Not all gamblers. There are some gamblers that know how to stop when it's. But I've heard about stories about gamblers who gambled away a mortgage, car, house, boat, RV, such and such, and so on and so forth. That they got back to where they live from the casino. They have a sad look on their face, and they say, "Well, we lost everything. We have to vacate." That is what taking life for granted is. Taking life for granted is going to the casino, knowing dang on well that you have a mortgage and then you have a car payment and you have all this. Putting all of that to gambling, all of it to gambling, and all of it is gone. They say they giveth, they say he giveth and he taketh away. Those people that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. Those people that don't, I suggest you look it up. Like I said, I'm not going to be religious on here. I'm not going to be political on here, so don't expect me to. But we take life for granted so much that we don't live in the now. If you want to enjoy life, enjoy it now because you don't know when it's going to be your time. You don't know when your time is going to be up. That's why I live my life in the now. Stop stop living your life in the present. Stop living your life in the past. Life in the past is in the past, people. Stop going back to the old okie doke and start focusing on right now. July 18th, 2019. What are you going to do? You going to enjoy life or are you going to keep dwelling in your own sorrows? I don't know what it is, but I know one thing. I'm going to continue being happy and living life to the fullest. That's what we don't do. We don't live life to the fullest. Some of us don't. Short video, but why do you think we take life for granted? Put it in the comments section. Let me know. Why do you think we take life for granted? Why do you think that we aren't able to live in the now rather than live in the past instead of the present? Why do you think that? And I hope that those people who are living in the past can break out of that past and live in the now. Because you only have a limited amount of time to enjoy what you like doing. Like I said, you don't know when your time is going to be up. I hope that this video makes people think because it actually the topic made me think. Anyway, YouTube, I'm going to get off of here. I just wanted to get on real quick and let you know that I'm still here. I'm still kicking. Nothing has happened, but I've just not had the motivation to do any YouTube videos, even though I've had topics that I wanted to talk about, but I just haven't had the time to pick up the phone and start doing the YouTube video. But I'm going to start pretty soon. I'm going to start pretty soon. Anyway, um, if you like this video, thumbs up it. If you don't, thumbs down it. And comment on why you think we take life for granted. No, there's no such thing as a stupid answer. There's no such thing as a stupid answer. The only stupid answer is the one that doesn't get asked. Anyway, I'm Sheldon Pond. I'm going to sign off. Remember, live your life the way that you want to live it, not the way someone else wants you to. I'm Sheldon Pond, and I'll talk to you all later. Take care.